All right. Good morning, everyone. And again, welcome to the Cel-Fi QUATRA 4000 webinar, where for the first time, you're going to hear about our latest products in the Quatra line. We have Joe Schmelzer, the head of product here today, that will be doing the webinar. I'm Dean Richmond. I'm the head of marketing for Nextivity. Just a little bit about us if you're new to Nextivity and the Cel-Fi product line. We were established about 13 years ago. We are partners with now 200 carriers across 100 countries. So we've had a long history providing cellular coverage products throughout the world. And this year has been a really hot year for us. We've been recognized with 8 different awards across many of our products and our company as well. And we're pretty happy and proud of that gold award from the Stevie. It is the American Business Awards, and our company was recognized as an innovation leader in the telecommunications world. So pretty proud of the awards we've been getting this year and the recognition really across the whole line that we are selling. So with that, I'm going to hand you over to Joe Schmelzer, our head of product. Are you ready to go, Mr. Joe?
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Dean. It has been a very exciting year. I was thinking maybe a little departure and talk about the 5-0 San Francisco 49ers for a while. No, I'm kidding, but that is a beautiful thing. Okay, the Cel-Fi QUATRA 4000. Let's get into it. There's a ton of material here, lots of people on the phone, and some of them are new. Some of you are probably familiar with us. We're going to get a little bit of an introductory, few minutes on introductory stuff, and then we'll dig in. First, a little bit about Cel-Fi. So Cel-Fi is Nextivity is the company that makes the brand Cel-Fi, all of the Cel-Fi products, including Quatra. We are a complete end-to-end product development company. You may know that we build our own chipset. We're currently shipping our 4th generation chipset, and our 5th generation chipset is in the lab in development. That'll come out later. But we start by building everything up from the ground on our chipsets. We have an embedded software team. We do all of our embedded software, all of our own radios. We have a phenomenal lab here in San Diego. We'd invite any of you partners out here to San Diego to have a tour and see kind of how we do things. We have a great product development organization here that we build everything soup to nuts. We have an antenna development engineering team, as well as capability to build antennas. So we do a lot of our own antennas. All of our internal antennas for our products are built in-house. We also have a couple partnerships with some third-party antenna vendors that help us with some of the external antennas or antennas that are slightly more common. And then, of course, we have industrial design and mechanical design engineering in the company. So really a soup to nuts product company. And then a huge investment for us over the last several years on the software side. We are currently in production on our actually generation 2.0 of our cloud. We have an amazing cloud offering that provides a lot of features. Some of the new features you'll hear about a little bit later, but our cloud offering is something that we're very proud of. We were really the first company in our category to have a strong cloud connectivity part of our business. We're SOC 2 Type 1 compliant also, which is important for those of you out there who have perhaps you're doing government work, or a lot of the carriers or network operators will have requirements for SOC compliance. So we're solid on that. We have our own app development team. We've been shipping our Wave app now for about 3 years. We're on version 25 on that one. And we're also getting ready to launch a brand new version of Wave that we're calling Wave Pro. Those of you who are installers out there, Wave Pro is going to be the app for you. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on in the presentation here, but you should really take note of the initiative and the efforts that we're making here to really be a strong support operation for the installers and for the VARs and for everyone out there who's trying to really support the in-building wireless space. And then finally, tools. We've got a ton of tools that are available for up and down the value chain there, whether you're a distributor and you're doing things like flashing systems or monitoring your inventory, managing your inventory, all the way down to installers on the ground that are doing things like you're trying to aim antennas or optimize an install. We've got a variety of tools that are available to you. Some of them are through the web, and some of them would be available, sort of as standalone desktop tools that you can get through our support team or through our sales team. So, just understanding the market a little bit. If you've been with Cel-Fi or the product line for 5 years or more, you've really seen us expand our product portfolio, which is really what we're trying to do. We're trying to become a real one-stop solution in the building wireless space for the variety of categories out there. And if you look at the marketplace, the way we look at the marketplace is we kind of, and this is a simplified view, but I think it works. There's a few different tiers or a few different kinds of major customer tiers in this market. On the left-hand side, you have the SMB and SOHO category. And one thing that we try to do here at Nextivity with our Cel-Fi products is we try to provide the features and functions in the product that match the needs of that category, because of course you have to manage things like pricing and ease of install and operational performance and performance characteristics, and all of those metrics are things that we look at very carefully, and we try to deliver the right products into the right category. So if you look at the far left side, that's the SMB SOHO space. In that category, we're real focused on just simple metrics like text, voice, and data. And then moving into the higher, moving up the value chain there into what we call the middle price. You should be very familiar with that term by now. We've been saying that term in all of our marketing materials for about 3 years. The middle price category for us is anything, any space that's kind of between 50,000 square feet and say 500,000 square feet. But looking at the requirements in that category, you see things like voice quality of service and responsive data. And we really target a really strong user experience on the ground in that category, whether you're a business or an MDU, hotel, or hospital. If you're in that category, you're running applications, your interests are really making sure that your wireless devices work pretty well in that space. And so if you're getting service, say 10 megabits per second or better on your smartphone or on your laptop, then you're a happy customer. And those are the things that we really target in that category. If you're reading a lot of the marketing material and other things that are happening right now in the industry, you're probably hearing a lot about fiber and CBRS and 5G, and a lot of different stories are coming out around there. And we're all, if you look at the history of Nextivity, we're always, with every iteration of technology, we're always in the right place at the right time. That's how we've shown our products. In those categories, we're looking at things like large enterprise, stadium, airport, major shopping malls. Those are looking at our use cases, we think those are appropriate for things like fiber and CBRS, and some of the emerging use cases on 5G will be more applicable in those categories. And those are things that we're not really targeting here with Cel-Fi. We're really going for that middle category with Quatra. And then on the SMB SOHO side is our Go product is pretty good.
We had a general question on what exactly an MDU or SMB or SOHO is from the audience.
Yes, sure. Yeah, terminology. SMB is a small and medium business. SOHO is like small office, home office, the typical acronym. And then for us, MDU is a multi-dwelling unit, and that is really things like apartments, real simple. And so it's a really exciting, if you look at the market numbers there on the side in the MDU space, it's a booming category. There's 16 million MDU properties across the USA today, about 400,000 new builds yearly. So I'm betting that a number of you on the phone here are probably servicing that category. And the Quatra product has been phenomenal in that space. We have a number of partners that are chasing that. We also, just looking at some of the other market data there on the right-hand side, you can see just some estimates that we have with some of our industry partners and some of our internal research, just looking at some of the opportunities there. Like 400,000 warehouses in the US. You can see the numbers there for the other categories, but these are things that we really are focusing on with the Quatra product. And those are the use cases and features that we're trying to deliver. All right. So Quatra, this isn't the first Quatra. This product is the third Quatra in the series. We've spent, I think our first launch was right in 2017. So we've been doing this now for a couple of years. And Tim Lewis and his team has done a fantastic job of building out our partner base and our ecosystem. And it's been phenomenal for us because it's been a great source of feedback. A number of you are chasing all kinds of deals and all kinds of projects. And so we've tried to aggregate all of the major feedback that we've gotten. And one of the things we got is everyone loves the Cel-Fi architecture. For us, it really represents the first advancement in the category. We've taken a lot of the performance metrics and KPIs that you find with your big iron DAS, and then we've combined that with a lot of the ease of install metrics that you find in some of the lower tier categories, and we've put that all into sort of one architecture, so you get the benefits of the digital distribution, the power over Ethernet, combined with the ease of install and the time to market advantages that you get with something like your off-air style products. Multi-carrier solution. Our first Quatra 1000 was a single carrier product. Then we advanced to the dual carrier Quatra 2000. And of course, a lot of people out there are doing the multi-carrier deals. You see them every day. Their customers will come at you and they say, look, we've got to have 4 carriers. So we heard you loud and clear, and that's what Quatra 4000 is. That's our first 4-carrier product. And then the small cell support. So we've sort of made our bread and butter over the last 10 years of delivering products as a really strong coverage solution. And we still are the best coverage solution that you can find. But you will find customers and deals and requirements where they're looking for capacity as well as coverage, or you might be in a situation where the outside macro network is just not solid enough, or maybe it's not there at all, where you can't pick up any signal from off the air. So you want to bring in a small cell, and with the Quatra 4000, it's a fantastic product for integration with the small cell. We call that a supercell in our context. But you'll hear a little bit more about that later, but this is a great product for bringing capacity as well as coverage to a building with a small cell. Okay, let's talk about the roadmap a little bit. We'll start on the bottom. In 2017, we launched the Quatra 1000. That's a single carrier product that we've actually shipped globally, and we continue to ship globally. This has been a great introduction. We see super strong demand. This is a great product for a single carrier project. A lot of our operator partners are behind this. Obviously, if I'm an AT&T or a Telstra or a Vodafone, I'm not too interested in providing coverage on my competition products. So this is a great product for that. We also have our channel partners will. One thing that the Quatra 1000 has is MIMO, which is pretty cool. So if you have a customer who wants to pay for MIMO, is willing to pay for MIMO, wants the slight performance advantage of MIMO, then this is a great product for them. And you can layer these products together in a multi-carrier install and deliver that. In 2018, we announced the Quatra 2000, and this has really been an amazing product for us here in the U.S. This one's only available in the U.S. We have, hopefully you know this already, but we have 2 flavors. We have the AT&T Verizon flavor, and then the T-Mobile Sprint flavor. This product has been a real disruptor in the category. Our channel partners have been able to win all kinds of projects for this, and it's been an exciting ride, and we're looking forward to continuing the continuing success with this product. You'll notice that all of these arrows continue to the right. Again, we're looking at this as continuing to build out our portfolio of products to support more and various kinds of deals, and enable our partners to win more deals and have a higher win rate when you have requirements that meet each of these specific types of products. And then the top one is what we're going to focus on today, the Quatra 4000. We're announcing that now. We'll be shipping that in earnest in 2020. Super exciting for us. We think we're going to be your one-stop shop for all of your middle price cellular requirements. I just wanted to make a comment. You'll notice on the upper left, there are two model numbers that we're showing here, the Q4000 and the Q4000i. Just a little bit about that. So I'm not going to dwell on this too much. You'll get more from us on this later and through other forums. But we have an FCC Part 20 version of the product and an FCC Part 90 version of the product. Each of these flavors has features and benefits. The Quatra 4000 is our FCC Part 20 certified version of the product. That's the product that you can buy in the morning and install in the afternoon. It has certain band support that I'll get into in a couple slides. And the Quatra 4000i is our FCC Part 90 version of the product. That version of the product requires a retransmission agreement with the carriers, and it offers a couple additional bands that are not available under Part 20 rules that you can take advantage of in that context. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. So here's the product itself, the Quatra 4000. If you're familiar with the Quatra platform, then this should be easy to digest. Just some of the high-level bullet points, up to 100 dB of gain. Again, there's no one in this category that can touch us. I think the closest one that I've seen is in the 70s. I think there's another product out there that's a Part 90 product that's an 80. But in our category in our class of products, in our price range, and in our performance metrics, we're by far the most powerful product. It really gives you a lot of flexibility with where you install in terms of the donor signal that you can support. The product, we call this dual mode. I mentioned before that you can go off air or in the supercell context. So you will be able to easily connect a small cell to this, or you can take your donor from the macro network. All digital. So this is where our similarities with the big iron folks come in. We are an all digital solution. So the connection between the network unit and our coverage unit is over Cat5, category 5 cable. So we're essentially digitizing the signal at the NU and then re-energizing it at the coverage unit and transmitting it at the coverage unit. And so you can go from 100 meters from the network unit to the coverage unit. And if you need a little more distance, you can, on the lower right-hand part of the screen here, you can see our Quatra 4000 range extender, and that will deliver you an extra 100 meters. So you can go up to 200 meters from the NU to the CU, or the network unit to the coverage unit. It's scalable. So this is one difference to highlight from the previous two Quatras. A single network unit here can support up to 6 coverage units. So with a single network unit, we're saying 75,000 square feet. Those of you who are RF engineers know that these numbers are, they're estimates based on a lot of assumptions in terms of what the layout of the building looks like and your donor signal, et cetera. But what we say is that a coverage unit for us covers about 12,500 square feet, sort of middle of the bell curve there. And that 12,500 square feet is the same for all of our coverage units, whether it's a 1,000, a 2,000, or a 4,000. They all have the same downlink power and you'll get a similar footprint per coverage unit. But this particular product, the Quattro 4000, supports up to 6 of these. So with a single NU, you can cover a slightly larger space. Again, our DNA is with carriers. We were, our first 10 years of business, we were primarily a carrier company. We make carrier grade products. We've been through the gauntlet and the infernos of carrier requirements and their carrier labs. And so we've emerged with a product that we are extremely confident to deploy. The networks are confident. And it's something that you can be confident that you're not going to have a problem with your wireless providers on the ground if you're installing Cel-Fi. A little bit on the bottom, there's several new products that we're launching concurrently with this. The middle, the one on the left there, the Cel-Fi micro panel antenna. That's a miniature sort of a panel whip style antenna that ships in the box with every CU, and that can attach to the RF connector on the top of the coverage unit. So if you want to do a quick install and just use that whip antenna, then the micro panel antenna, it's simple. Just screw that on, plug in the CU, and off you go. To the right of that is what we're calling the LPDA-R antenna. That's another iteration, a new version of our LPDA antenna. Really, the only thing that's new for this antenna is that it's a little bit wider bands. So this antenna covers down to 617 megahertz. So if you have an install that's looking to support T-Mobile's band 71 down to 617, then this is the antenna you'd want to use for your donor. If you're not supporting T-Mobile band 71, then our existing LPDA antenna will be fine. It will continue to be fine. We'll continue to ship that forever. The LPDA antenna that we're shipping today is perfect for the 1000 and the 2000. So both of these antennas will have their uses. And then to the right of that is another new antenna we're announcing. It's our low profile antenna. You can see it's super thin. It's an omnidirectional antenna with a small pigtail there and an N-type connector. So if you get into trying to run a passive DAS system from the CU, this is a great antenna to use if you've got a drop ceiling. So again, what we're trying to do here is one-stop shopping for all of our partners and give you all the solution elements that you need, that you're going to need to deliver in a building. And then the far right is the range extender, which I already talked about a little bit. That'll give you an extra 100 meters of distance between your NU and CU. Okay, so why have integrators and our partners switched to Cel-Fi QUATRA? One thing is the flexibility. So as I mentioned before, your donor source, and of course, if you're in this business for 45 minutes or more, you'll know that the donor source becomes something that one of your problems that you have to, or one of your challenges that you have to have a good plan for. And the great thing about QUATRA is you have a lot of flexibility with your donor. You can and particularly with QUATRA 4000, you'll notice that there are 4 LPDA antennas there. So the QUATRA 4000 has 4 RF ports. And what you can do is you can install the system with in a completely off-air context. Each one of those operators has its own donor port. So you have 1 antenna per operator. You can quickly install the product and get it running in an off-air system. And if you want to swap out one of those donors for a small cell at such time when your small cell arrives on the scene, then you can go back to that spot and change a donor very easily, and you can leave the rest of the system untouched. So you see, we call that the off-air configuration, and then a configuration with the small cells, we call that the supercell. And each one of these QUATRA systems can be configured either as a supercell or as an off-air or as a combination of either one. A little bit about the integration models. I mentioned that there are two products that we're offering here today: the Cel-Fi QUATRA 4000 and the QUATRA 4000i. The QUATRA 4000 we're certifying under Part 20 rules. I won't read the bands there. You can see the bands are listed below there. Essentially, what that all adds up to is AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and Sprint. Those are the bands that we're supporting here in the US. There's an asterisk next to the 71 because we haven't gotten permission yet from the FCC to relay band 71, but we're confident that that will come in the next month or two, just based on the progress we've made there. So that should be available as a Part 20 enabled band soon. And then the Quatra 4000i, we're launching as a Part 90 product, and there's just a couple things. The products are very much identical, very similar. What you get with the Part 90 version is you get band 30 and band 41. Band 30 is a band that AT&T is deployed in some regions. Texas is one area where they deploy band 30 quite a bit. And so if you've got a solution that you're putting into a property that's looking for band 30, then this would be a great option for you. And then band 41 is Sprint's TDD band. We're super excited about this particular feature, as we think we're the first, and at this point, the only product that actually relays band 41. It's the first TDD relay product that really does this properly in the market. So if you've got a property that's looking to relay Sprint's band 41, this would be a great option for you. We're not supporting band 41 in our Part 20 version, just because given the business between Sprint and T-Mobile today, and the merger and what's happening there, it could be quite a long time before we get some sort of FCC certification to enable that for Part 20. So right now, that's a part of the Part 90 product. So, and that's that. A little bit about the details and some of the features on the Quatra 4000. What we're showing here is the NU, or the network unit. I'm going to read this a little bit. I want to make sure that everybody understands this, and that I also say it properly. So this is a 4-carrier product. This is a multi-carrier product, and we're supporting AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and Sprint. And there's multiple donor options, and then what you'll get in the end is multiple band configurations that you can relay, and you'll be able to relay any 2 bands simultaneously. A very important feature, you'll notice there are independent donor ports for each operator, and this is a phenomenal feature. It will enable you to really optimize your donor signal for each carrier. And by optimizing the donor signal, you will have an optimal downlink power and the largest possible footprint, as well as the best possible, like, for example, the best possible SINAR. And if you have a really strong SINAR, then you'll have really good throughput. You'll have a really nice experience from the users on the ground. So optimizing the donor signal is a real important part of your install, and having 4 independent ports gives you a lot of flexibility to do that. Some of the competing products are not as strong in this area. They'll have combined bands, or they'll have combined carriers in a single donor. Of course, the problem there is if you've got one macro and one to the east, and the second macro to the west, how do you optimize that donor signal if you've only got one source? So by having 4, you really can provide an awesome experience. We have combined CU server port. So on the server side, which we're not showing here, we're not showing the CU, but you'll see pictures of it in a minute. There's a single combined RF port. So we take all of these 4 carriers, digitize all of that, provide the optimal gain and signal cleaning, and to give you the best SINAR. We put all of that together and drive it through a single output port. So on the CU, you've got a single antenna to deliver all of those carriers. And again, 100 dB max system gain, the most powerful in the marketplace. For those of you who are maybe not familiar with this calculation, 10 dB is actually 10 times stronger. So if you've got one system, say that's 80 dB, and another that's 100 dB, that's 100 times more power to the 100 dB system. So it's a real important metric. This system is 140 megahertz of relay bandwidth. Our existing Quatra products are about, I think it's been a while since I looked at it, but I think they're 75 megahertz. So you've got almost double the relay bandwidth available to these systems, and more relay bandwidth gets you more users, more capacity, more throughput, just a better experience on the ground. I see a question from Dean.
Yeah, you mentioned the importance of that gain, and one of the many questions we've been getting is around gain. And there are other BDA style products out there that have a multi-carrier product capability. Why why is this so special? Maybe in the gain side, and some of the differences between what we're doing and what they're doing.
Yeah, so that's a great question. One thing that Cel-Fi has been doing in this market now for a few years is we've really been working on optimizing the donor in a variety of ways, and we do that through um, not only just the hardware, but we're also doing it through our design support, our online design tools, our free stuff that you can get from us from the web, whether it's IB-Wave templates or we have something I'm going to talk about in a few minutes called the BOM estimator. It allows you to sort of quickly look at um, how what the network conditions are on the ground and what kind of equipment you might need, and things like antenna pointing. So we we're really focused in that area. Our competition has picked up on that for sure, and they're trying to. I mean, there's some catch up being played, but what we really do that is a difference is our our donor ports are per carrier. Some of the competitive donor ports are per band. And the difference there is, for example, you take a band like band 2. Band 2 is used by AT&T, T-Mobile, and Sprint. So you've got three different operators all delivering the same band. Now, if you've got a single RF port that band 2 is coming in on, where do you put your antenna? Where do you aim your antenna? If you aim it at AT&T, that might not be great for Verizon, for example. They might have different directions for their donors. So it's it's probably some forward progress in terms of separating the bands out on the donors, but it's not as good as having it by carrier, because what we know is that a carrier is going to put their donor on a single point on a tower, so we can aim, we can aim a lot better, and that better optimization again is going to get you better SINAR, and that's going to give you better experiences from the users on the ground. Okay, so going forward, I mentioned this each unit supports up to 6 CUs via Category 5 cable, same as our 1000 and 2000 in terms of the cable. One major difference here is you need 2 category cables per CU. So I'll just repeat that: 2 category cables per CU. This is something where in the design process, we spent a lot of time surveying some of you who are on the phone here, our partners and ecosystem consultants about, would that be a problem? If you have to run 2 category cables per CU, is that going to be an onerous thing? And the response was universally no. Category cable is inexpensive. The cost of running a single cable is virtually the same cost as running 2 cables, because you've got the same labor costs and everything else. So we had a ringing endorsement that running 2 category cables was no big deal. And the thing about that is that allows us to give you all the relay bandwidth and that you saw above. So each CU requires 2 category cables. I'll show you the connectors on the bottom of that. N-type RF connectors for the donor on the top. This is again more feedback that we heard from from our previous products. These N-type connectors are heavy duty, rugged connectors, and some of you out there are using a big wrench, and you're hopefully you're not going to break this connector off. It's pretty rugged. And then I mentioned the distance between the NU and CU. I won't go through that again. This product has 23 dBm uplink power per operator per band. Again, that's a sort of important thing to mention. Our uplink power again is per operator per band, so it's not an uplink number that's been aggregated across 4 carriers or across 8 different bands or 5 different bands. Each one of these operators, each one of these bands gets that sort of uplink power, so you're going to have super good performance getting back to the tower. Each CU has 17 dBm downlink power, so that's a footprint you're familiar with. That number is the same number that we have on the 1000 and the 2000. So for planning purposes, similar size footprints per CU. One new thing on this product is we have the cable diagnostics. So again, feedback from the field. It would be really great to know what's going on across that category cable with the CU to sort of support the troubleshooting and the support initiative. So now what we can do is we've got some diagnostics that you can get from our portal about what's going on with that category 5 cable to help resolve any issues you might have. All right, so going forward here. A little bit about the bands. I won't read this slide. You can take this away later and study it. Essentially, it's a multi-carrier product. We support Verizon, Sprint, AT&T, T-Mobile. Again, I talked about the integration models between the 4000 and 4000i. The significant difference there is the 4000 is Part 20, 4000i is Part 90. With the Part 90 product, you need to have a retransmission agreement. So you just, depending on the kind of install you're doing and your requirements on the ground and your band requirements, will help you define which of these units make the most sense for you. Mounting on the right hand side, if you get your hands on one of these network units, this is not the same network unit that you've seen with the 1000 and 2000. This is a solid chunk of cast metal. It's a super heavy duty product that delivers a lot of power, generates some heat. The whole thing is essentially an encased metal heat sink. You can see what it looks like there on the top. And we have a new mounting mechanism. This is a metal mounting bracket. It's really easy. You can see you simply mount this bracket to the wall, mount the bracket, and then I actually have a slide later that will show how this works, but you can just literally slide the network unit onto the mounting bracket and then secure it with a pin, and then you're good to go. Super simple. This is some of the detail view. The 4 donor ports on the upper left that I've talked about. In the middle, something I haven't mentioned yet, the product has an embedded cellular modem. And so in order to get the RF signal out from the modem, we've got 2 ports on the top there. Those are SMA connectors. So if you're taking advantage of the cellular modem, you'll have the product will ship with a mini whip antenna that you can screw on. If you don't have a signal wherever you've installed the NU, then you can just remove that whip antenna and run a cable to your outside signal, and then provide coverage to the modem. On the right hand side, you can see the super rugged, very simple mounting tabs that we've built in here. On the left, lower left, you see the power. Again, some feedback we got from the field. An on-off switch would be nice, and so we've delivered you an on-off switch. And then from the CU attachment standpoint, there are 6 ports for 6 CUs, and each CU takes 2 cables, so there are 2 RJ45 connectors for each CU. On the right, lower right, you'll see there's the product has a SIM slot between the 2 cellular modem antennas, and that's where the SIM will go. Okay. This is the coverage unit. The coverage unit is a little bit smaller. It's a little bit thinner. It's a little bit lighter, a lot lighter actually. Again, this is a pretty powerful device. It's a solid chunk of metal. You'll notice on the upper left is the RF connector. So in terms of deployment, you can screw on the mini panel antenna that ships in the box and have your easy install method. Just wire the CU to the NU with the category cable and power it up, and you're cooking. Or you can use that RF port to run a distributed passive set of one passive antenna, or say up to 4, whatever makes sense on the ground for the power you need. On the right hand side, you'll see the 2 input ports for the category cable. The right is just another view of that server antenna port. I'm trying to be conscious of the time here and not be too lengthy. 2 ways to deliver coverage. The left side is the unit itself. On the upper right, I mentioned the quick install method. You can see a picture of the antenna that ships with the unit. It's we call it the micro panel antenna or mini panel antenna. That's an omnidirectional antenna. If you're doing the quick install method, let's say you're putting this CU into a large open space. You don't need to do anything fancy with your distribution. Screw the antenna on and power it up, and you'll deliver coverage into that space. If you've got some small rooms that you need to cover, or you've got a space that's a little more challenging, you've got some RF blockers inside the building, or you want to split your power in a variety of ways, you can do that easily. Just run a passive system from the top of that RF connector, and you can use our omnidirectional antenna, or you can use some of our other antennas that we offer for providing coverage. Just a quick note about power. This goes without saying to some of you who are maybe a little deeper on the install side, but the power we deliver from the CU is a finite number. It's this CU delivers 17 dBm. If you're going to string antennas, if you're going to do the easy install method that we show on the left, then you're going to put all 17 dBm into that antenna, and you're going to deliver a coverage bubble that's roughly 12,500 square feet. If you're going to split the power into multiple antennas, then you're going to get some flexibility in how you provide coverage. But again, each time you add a passive antenna, you're going to be splitting the power. So what we're showing here is, in this case, they've added 4 of those omnidirectional antennas, and they're providing 4 smaller coverage footprints. But the nice thing about the Quatra 4000 is you have a lot of flexibility for how you deploy it in either of these methods. A little bit about how you mount the Quatra 4000 coverage unit. It also comes with a mounting bracket. It's a solid metal mounting bracket, easy to screw on the wall. The side view there on the right, it simply slides onto the bracket there and then slides down into position. There's a locking nut on the top side, so once you have the unit onto the bracket, you just secure the mounting nut onto it, and the unit is secure onto the wall. Very simple. We've also tried to, again, more feedback from the field in terms of how do we mount this product into a drop ceiling. So we've built some really nice capability for drop ceiling mounting. On the picture you see there, on the back of the Quatra CU, we have 2 1/4" 20 threaded holes that are in place, and they're designed for your standard drop ceiling accessories. So there's thousands of options available for drop ceiling in terms of standard accessories, whether you're using these sort of threaded rods or you're using wires or whatever. But you can use these standard accessories, attach them to the unit itself, and then easily and safely mount these things up into your drop ceiling. Also, the mounting bracket has some threaded holes designed for 1/4" 20 that provide you more flexibility. We're showing one mounting methodology here, but there's infinite number of ways that our partners will put these into ceilings with the standard accessories, and this should be super easy for you to do that with this product. Oh, one important point that I don't want to forget, the Quatra 4000 is plenum rated. So that's really exciting for us. Being a solid metal enclosure, we're able to install this in the plenum if you've got requirements. For example, some hospitals, some hotels will have requirements for only plenum rated equipment can go into the plenum area. You can do that safely with the Quatra 4000 now. So that's big news for us. We're super excited about that. Here's a view of the quick install. We're doing pretty good on time here. I was hoping to leave a few minutes for questions if possible. This is a view. If you're a current Quatra user, then you've seen this all day long. This is a quick install version where you have a single NU supporting 6 different CUs throughout this space. You can use the antenna that's included in the box for this kind of an installation. Or this is another view of a way you can install. On the left, you see you have 4 donors in this particular one. The product is installed such that the Cat5 cable goes through the vertical risers, and then the category cable attaches to the CUs. You have in this view, you have 1 CU on each floor, and then from the CU, you have a passive DAS system that's extending, and you have antenna drops. This view, we've got 4 antenna drops. I think what we're saying is 4 is probably a good number to use as a limit. For the number of antennas that you'd want to put on there. You can use directional antennas or omnis or whatever makes sense for the space you're trying to cover. Okay, supercell mode. Small cells are, of course, awesome. You can get coverage as well as capacity. The problem with the small cell is, it's a single radiating point. So if you've got a building that you're trying to cover, a single radiating point is usually not sufficient. It will leave you with blind spots or dead zones, or you might have you have dominance issues at the edge of the building with the macro network, and so some customers will try to solve that by putting in more small cells, but now you're getting into cost issues and OpEx, etc. Quatra is great working with small cells, so you get all the great signal distribution properties from Quatra and the additional capacity that a small cell delivers. So attaching a Quatra to a small cell gives you a fantastic experience on the ground. Many of our sort of advanced customers that are, say, in the MDU space or the shared workspace are preferring this method. It gives you a lot of control over that signal on the ground, as well as additional capacity. So this is a really nice way to install the product. I'm not going to talk about this. I think these slides are going to be available later. So our sales guys and our support team can help walk you through these. Those of you that are new to this product, which product is right for me in my space. And we have we sort of have a methodology here where we can help you figure out which one is the right one. And again, I want to emphasize that the Quatra 1000, the 2000, and the 4000 are all very much alive, very much supported, and we will continue to deliver these products based on the needs and the requirements in the space. Compass. So I've talked about how important installers are for us. We also have announced the availability of this signal analysis tool. That's the product that you see on the lower right. We've had a couple webinars separately about that. Again, we are doing our best here to make the life of the installer as easy as possible. We want to be a company that scales based on having thousands of installs and thousands of partners and thousands of winning deliveries and not a small number. So we're doing what we can to really enable the installers to do a good job and do the job quickly and well. So a lot of these tools are designed to facilitate that. We have IBWave templates available. You can get those off our website or from our support team. We have VEX files available if you're using IBWave. We have some online tools that are available through our website also that will help you in a pre-sale context if you're trying to do a proposal or get an estimate out to a potential customer. With a few clicks, you can really get pretty close to a good estimation, at least for a quotation. And then, of course, we have a bunch of other little bit more sophisticated tools available through our portal that will do things like help you aim antennas and optimize your system, giving you the best user experience on the ground. Something brand new for us with Quatra 4000, we are announcing a support agreement. So with the Quatra 4000, every Quatra 4000 will ship bundled with a support agreement. The requirement is that the first year is a requirement. If you can renew that on an annual basis, depending on what your needs are with your systems on the ground. Pricing for that will be available through Tim and through his sales team after the meeting. And what is the support agreement? So essentially what Nextivity is offering here is we have the ability to review the key system KPIs when the system installation is complete. So one of the things that we can do through our connected platform and through our Wave platform is we can have our experts here at headquarters and in our satellite offices review the installation and look at those KPIs. And this team is extremely good at understanding how your system has been installed. Is it installed properly? Are there any issues that you need to deal with? And so we're making the commitment to review those KPIs when the system installation is complete, and then provide feedback to you around that. The other thing we can do is we will monitor the systems for alarms, and we'll perform level 1 remote troubleshooting. So one of the things that we offer through our cloud is you have the ability to, all of our systems have alarms and alerts, and all of those things are customizable. What we will do is we can monitor those alarms for the installer or for whomever is the system owner, and we get those alarms into our system here, and our experts will get those alarms. We'll look at them and then provide some remote troubleshooting for each alarm to you. In-field support remains the responsibility of system integrators. That's an important point I wanted to emphasize. We're not trying to go out and talk to your customers. We're not trying to be boots on the ground for you. We know that is the value, one of the many value adds that our partners offer for us. We'll stay here in San Diego. But we do have the ability to monitor our portal and monitor these systems remotely. So that is the service that we are offering through the Quatra 4000 for the first time. Okay, a little bit about product installations. Getting short on time here, I'm going to kind of blitz here. These are just some examples of where we've seen a lot of success with you. Retail, government, warehouse, hotels, hospitals, all of these things that hopefully everyone on the phone here is servicing daily. I think that's the end of the presentation. Just a quick review of the lineup here, the Quatra lineup. Again, we have the Part 90 product that's got a couple additional bands available, requires a retransmission agreement. The Part 20 version of the Quatra 4000, which you can buy in the morning and install in the afternoon. And then the Quatra 2000 and the 1000 products. 2000 is the dual carrier version, and the 1000 is a single carrier version that supports MIMO. So this is our product lineup. I hope you're as excited about it as we are. And I think that concludes my part of this for now.
Fantastic. And of course, if you want to become a partner, and if you're not a partner already, please come visit us online and at cel-fi.com/partnership and fill out the form, and somebody from the sales team will talk to you. Now, through our hand-picked partners so far, we've allowed for some early access. We are still in consideration on some other early access candidates. If you have a concept or an idea around this product in early access, please talk to your salesperson and reach out to Tim Lewis's team on that. The public availability will be Q1 2020. That's Q1 2020. The pricing, as always with Quatra, is not public, but talk to your salesperson about that, and they'll give you more information there. Now, if you want to see it live, come see us at Mobile World Congress. We're in the Hall South at booth number 2846. We're excited to show this, so we hope to see you there. Now, we had so many questions, and I admit I only got to about a third of them. We had 150 questions during this webinar. A lot of great questions. A lot of them were really focused on setup and training. We will have another webinar with our solution architect that goes around setup and training and goes down to a more detailed level around that spec. The spec and the website is live, so a few of your questions are actually out there today. We pushed that this morning. That will be evolving through today, tomorrow, the next day, as we put more information up and out there. Again, super excited to talk to you, and sorry if we didn't get to your questions live. We will get to them after the fact. So with that, I think we're going to wrap this up. I think there's one or two small things I wanted to hit. There are several questions around the small cell interface, why it wasn't there. The current small cell interface can be used with this product, but what we've seen is what, Joe, out in the field?
Yeah, so thanks, Dean. The small cell interface, so for us, the small cell interface primarily does two things. One, it's an attenuator. So if you're delivering, if you're attaching a small cell to the, say, Quattro 1000, you want to attenuate that signal a bit to get it to the ideal input levels. And the second thing the small cell interface does is cable management. So it just kind of cleans up all your various RF cables that go between the small cell and to the network unit itself. And what we learned, just over the last couple of years of installing these things is that it wasn't. It's a nice to have. The small cell interface is certainly a nice to have, but if you're the kind of person who's putting a small cell in, attenuators are readily available. It's a commodity item that most of our VAR partners are already stocking, and cable management is also something that you're pretty good at. So we didn't feel like it was a must-have for this system. It frankly didn't. Some of you out there have used the small cell interface, and it's fantastic. It will stay alive, and you can continue to use it. But a lot of you also just kind of use your own solution, your own RF cables, and your own attenuators. So it just kind of, we didn't see it as a mandatory piece of the Quattro 4000 offering. But certainly, small cells are 100% usable.
And then the final question that I'm gonna end on is that there are several of you asked, what is the future of Quattro 2000 and 1000? Does the Quattro 4000 replace it? Hopefully you heard Joe say several times that Quattro 4000 and 4000i are the new introductions, but 2000 and 1000 do continue on. You bring the right tool to the right problem. So in some situations, only one carrier is needed. In some situations, 2 carriers, and others, multiple carriers. So we have multiple tools for the problems that exist in the market. Any more on that? I'll give you the last word, Joe.
No, I agree 100%. Other than that, the technology there's a lot of similarities there, and we're just expanding our portfolio to help win more business and serve more buildings, more properties.
Okay, thanks everyone, and we look forward to the next webinar and seeing you out at the shows. You guys have a great day.